everybody, I'm Brandon Jones. I'm the editor-in-chief of GameTrailers.com, where you come to watch trailers. We're going to talk about some trailers, so if you like trailers, let's all go to the trailers. How many times do you think we say trailers in an average episode?
I think just this part, and then
bet,
generally
man.
we're done using the word trailers after this.
We like being redundant here at Game Trailers Trailers. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey.
And a heck of a week for trailers. We're kind of cheating this week with one of our trailers. It technically came out last week, but we have a little bit late/early schedule here on Let's All Go to the Trailers. But nonetheless, gathered 3 that we should talk about, so let's get to it. I want to save the good trailer for last. There are a couple trailers that we have to get through that I think are fascinating.
This is a good place to start.
Graphically fascinating. Let me start by saying that I still don't know what caffeine is all about. I understand that we're in a spaceship, that we're walking around. There's some horror elements. There's people that have gone crazy. They're doing experiments. Like, same thing that happens in Dead Space and every other horror space game.
There's space coffee.
What you actually do, I've never seen them do anything. It's always just like, oh, here's our engine. And, you can only make that trailer so many times. We've got 8 or 9 caffeine trailers. I mean, maybe not. Maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
Definitely more than 3 that are literally just stare at our engine. This one is actually called DFRT Shadows trailer. So they're specifically showing off the shadows, which I get. But I have many questions. Why is no one explaining DFRT? Why am I looking at this when Alien Isolation came out? What is the angle here for the cell for the tech? Not that the people shouldn't make this game, but what's the cell? If the cell is only graphics, again, why would I play this when there are games that look way better than this game? Kyle Bossman.
What is the cell? Why does this trailer exist? You're
Why
right.
did this trailer be made? Why was this trailer made?
It is. I guess it's to show that lighting. I mean, they gave us that URL, so we're curious about it and how'd they do that? You cannot put pre-order now in the lower right-hand corner of your trailer for the entire trailer. You can't do that. You can't do that for this trailer. You can't show us nothing and say, pre-order this.
What if that just builds you to the boiling point? Where right when the trailer starts, you see it, and you're like, no, I'm not going to, I don't even know what this game is, I'm going to pre-order it. And then by the end, you're like, I have to pre-order this.
I gotta find out what's the deal with that coffee.
Oh, man.
First, they start with the shot of the coffee maker. And the game's called Caffeine. Are we supposed to get... I'm angry about this trailer.
But here specifically, we're kind of looking around at the light with the fan, and it's like, oh, is there going to be a severed head back there or something? Or a note or something
No,
like
nothing
that?
happens.
And it actually fades away before we see anything.
Yeah.
And I think I laughed out loud, and then immediately... This is the first trailer, next to the last trailer we're going to talk about, but when I was going through the batch of unexpected trailer finds, this was the first one I nabbed. It's like, oh yes, we'll be talking about this. Daniel Bloodworth, talk about this trailer, please.
Why... If it's about the shadows, why is this spotlight so bad?
It's so
There's this
pixely.
huge pixel line going around this circle. I'm like, what? I don't. I mean, the thing is I kind of get if you have a trailer that's showcasing a feature or whatever, and you don't have to explain the whole game every time. But there's nothing you want to show the lighting across a monster or a human or anything other than this just kind of empty space.
I learned less about shadows with this trailer, and I learned more about the fact that the people who are making this game are possibly frustrated with how long it's taking and are just grasping for stuff to talk about. And there's nothing wrong. Me as a trailer and game fan, I've never had a problem with games just vanishing. I'm upset Last Guardian's gone, but man, when it comes back, it's going to be a huge party. So if you got to take a break and you have to vanish out of the public eye, it's fine, but don't put trailers up. Yeah, this guy knocked me out.
Someone's Polaroid's up there.
This would be a 2. There's some nice effects that are going here, so that's a point. Some drone music was written, I guess, for this, and someone edited it. That's another point. But that's about all you can get for DFRT. You don't explain what DFRT is. You don't explain why it's special to your game. Did you build it? Are you the only space game to have it? How does it not only affect your game, but since the last time you released a trailer, what's happening? What's the extra piece of information? I don't feel like that's pushed forward at all.
I want to announce something. Based off some comments last week, I wrote down all of my scores this week on a piece of paper before we record, so Brandon can't change them this week.
Okay.
I'm locked into these scores. I gave this a 3 and then subtracted 1 whole point for pre-order now being on there the whole time, so
That's
it's a 2.
great.
It's another 2.
High five there, Kyle.
Wow.
You can't sell us anything without selling anything. It makes me so angry. The music itself is not tense. It's actually rising. The music is getting more and more intense. Just poor choice of music, poor choice of trailer. Don't over trailer is really something I'm trying to stress.
Don't over trailer?
They over trailered here. Too many trailers.
Okay.
Too many
I
trailers.
see. Too many.
Yeah.
I actually gave this a 3, so I'm coming in higher than you guys unexpectedly.
Whoa, Blood loved it.
This is literally 2 shots.
Yes.
This is 2 slow shots.
That's why it gets a 2. Because that's 2 shots. If it only had 1 shot, it would just get 1.
I mean, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't do anything to like assault my senses. Yeah.
Now we're getting slightly better graphics with this trailer. Before anything can be said about this trailer, before we giggle and laugh and point, this is very impressive. This is a very impressive feat that this trailer is demonstrating. This is the 21st expansion pack for EverQuest, and EverQuest has been around for 15 years, and they're still pulling it off. There's still people playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, it amazes me that this is actually getting new content. Like, it blows my mind that I'm looking at things that are just now made for this game.
So my big question is our favorite T-word, tone. Is this the right tone to use when selling EverQuest? To have larger-than-life music, really fast editing? Like, this is put together the same way.
Yeah, but they keep going back to this stupid shot.
But you get closer and closer every time.
Every time.
This stupid shot, you need to clarify
it's
that.
the one they open with. It's like going across the surface of the water, and you see this T-Rex in the background that they don't seem to acknowledge at first.
They absolutely are. I love it. We're getting closer and closer to the T-Rex. I love that shot, to be honest, and we keep reusing it.
Do you play up like EverQuest is the coolest thing since sliced bread, or do you? I mean, and they have actually released a lot of videos lately where they're just standing there talking about the history of EverQuest, sharing stories, and I think there definitely is the attitude that like, wow, this game's been around forever, but this trailer. Are you laughing at what I said, or are you laughing at the image?
These images, oh my god.
So I watched this before, Kyle, and I sent it over, and you cackled, Kyle. You were in stitches watching this trailer.
It broke me up.
And again, it's like I'm not laughing at the state of the game, because what can they do with this engine that's 15 years old?
Right.
But it's just, is it smart to sell it? Obviously you can sell it to your audience; they're gonna get excited about it.
I mean, you've got to let people know that, hey, this still exists. We're still going at it. You want to jump back in? We're here. Come on.
But there is an undeniable distance between the music and the titles and the editing and what we're looking at.
That's the thing, is like, it's another issue of, this is your game, this is what you have to advertise, and I really like what they do with it. Obviously it looks grody. Look at their characters. They're not shying away from how stupid everything looks, and I actually really appreciate that.
But it doesn't lie. It's like, it's like the area's under attack. It is. Like there's however many new zones there are. Like, restore balance to NORRATH. I guess. Sure, it's what you do in every expansion. So the trailer's not lying. It's not deceiving. There's no CG. They didn't make some big CG thing to lie, and then you get into the game and it looks like this. It is very, very upfront with what the game looks like. Maybe just the music. Maybe it's literally just the music that makes me.
Music's intense.
But I don't know. Is this new music that was written?
But that's the thing. Like, even an installed engine can still run that music if that's the music they have written for this expansion.
Kyle, tomorrow I fire you and you get a job at EverQuest.
Okay.
And they're coming out with their 22nd expansion.
Yeah.
The Halls of Mooglek, and it's all about blobs. And it's like, okay, now you have to design.
It would be a lot like this.
This is what you do.
If
this
you
is
say,
the trailer,
if
you're
you
like,
say,
let's do it.
For the first time in our 15 years, we have dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, we got to build up this journey across the water to get to the dinos. Let's cut back to that, getting closer. This is the trailer I would make. I think this is a pretty good trailer for what they have.
I feel pretty good trailers, how you put it, which
Yeah.
is why I give it a 7.5. I'm just confused. It just confuses me because it's sold like it's other things, and I don't know if every EverQuest trailer should bring up that conversation about like, whoa, look how old this game is. That's crazy. Let's talk about that. It's just funny to see a Worlds of Draenor trailer and then see this and literally have them cut the same way, using the same style of music and the same titles. It's like, is that just where we're at in trailers? Is that just the world of trailers? Is that like just the business that we're in, or could other steps have been made to maybe sell this a different way?
I give it an 8.9
Oh
because
wow.
I'm not sure I would know how to sell it a different way. I like how it's edited. I like the progression. I like the shots, the things they chose to show later on in the trailer, and it escalates. And you're showing your game. The number one thing with an expansion trailer that I look for is like, do you make this expansion look exciting? Do you make it look like this is something that needs to be expanded upon? And yeah, they do it. They show you dinosaurs and they level up to 105, sure. But yeah, I don't know what to tell them to do better. Basically, you're still selling EverQuest. Good job. Somehow you did it.
Yeah, I am a little on the lower end. I give this a 7. I mean, yeah, I think it's I am in the same position where like I don't know what else you want to do with this. It's not a mind-blowing trailer by any sense. But I do have like some of the tracking shots and things like that. Like they could have maybe done better with that, just like how they're setting up their cameras and their editing. Like seeing the same shot over and over. And the first time, like, am I supposed to not notice the dinosaurs on the shore or what?
I think the fact that you can tell that they're dinosaurs in EverQuest is an achievement in and of itself.
But yeah, it's definitely it's cool to see it still rocking.
I think it's safe to say we're taking a substantial visual leap with this new trailer. This trailer technically came out last week. This was the announcement of the week, the announcement of the month, maybe. Completely unexpected on my end, especially when the trailer starts. After looking at it now, seeing the 2D art, I was like, oh, okay, it's in production, they're making it, but the game's not done yet. Especially because they're selling like the whole Overwatch concept. I was like, oh, okay, this is their Kickstarter video.
Sure,
it's
I
like,
get you.
I mean, obviously Blizzard's never going to do a Kickstarter, but
I mean, this is way better than like even a lot of that like concept art. I mean, there's a lot of subtle layers and things like that. Really, even though it's 2D, it's like brought to life.
The color, I think, was the huge thing, especially because I also have to set this up that, like, I will always be a broken record until the day I die. They're like, this is how you announce it. And they didn't say anything before this video, right? They're like, oh, we have a new announcement, boom. I now defer to this thing that we spent a lot of time working on that will do a much better job selling this game than we ever could. And then all of a sudden, it's like bright oranges and bright yellows and bright blues and daylight. And it's like, that's not what Blizzard does.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a solitary Draenor trailer that's take place during the day so far. I mean, it's just their stuff is always very dark.
I mean, calling this a trailer is kind of strange because this is a short film. Like this is, you're conveying some information. Like you're talking about this thing as if we know what it is. Like this kid knows everything about Overwatch. He's so into it, and this is totally new to the audience. There's no way that anyone in the crowd knows what this is, but this kid's enthusiasm is already selling it to you. And I like just the little touches, like the fact that he has his cast on and stuff. And then I don't know if you noticed, but when he quotes Trace, that's her name, right? Tracer. She quotes Tracer, and then later on she says the same thing back to him. Yeah.
And he looks at his brother like, I told you. The dynamic, actually, that might be a great place to start. The dynamic between the brothers is genius. I mean, that's something that I feel that I will never be able to explain to my wife. I'll tell her like, oh, I said this to the other guy the other day, and she's like, that's mean. Why would you say that? And it's like, no. Like, you don't understand. Like that's how men relate to each other, and specifically that's how I would tell her stories my older brother did. And it's like, he did what to you? And it's like, but that's just like how we grow up and how we pretend like what's cool and what's not cool, and this could potentially not be cool. I mean, to a Blizzard fan, to somebody who's used to just like, no. StarCraft is very serious. No. Raynor and no. You don't play this up. There's no gorilla in a no. That's not like the style that I like. I like stuff to be like very serious, very intense, very mature, very dark. Like to have the dynamic between the kid who thinks it's totally cool and the like the skeptic, the older brother is like, I could never believe that Blizzard would never make a game like this. I don't know. There's lots of interesting parallels between like their enthusiasm. You almost forget they're there. They like leave the trailer for almost like a full minute.
And then we have to remember them here. Yeah.
Characters are great. Obviously, these guys can just design the pants off, almost anybody in the industry, especially when it's something that like they're doing. Like this is, this was never a book. This was not some animated movie from the '80s that we're rebooting. This is like entirely new property, entirely new characters.
Well, another thing that I like here too is like even though we see a glimpse of the scope of all these characters at the beginning, they keep it very tight and focused. They give you 4 characters like the actual playable characters to look at and to like get to know in this trailer, rather than just throwing all this information, all this stuff at you, and you get to see them in action and see some of their abilities played out. So I think that was a smart move too, when they could have just blown all these other things going. They just
League of
focused on
Legends,
them. Yeah.
much like the CG League of Legends trailer, where they're just a bunch of people fighting each other, right? It's context heavy. I mean, that first, the 2D stuff is setting this up and setting up a world. This trailer sets up a whole world that we are interested in within the duration of it. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. It started off cold. It started off without any hint that, hey, Blizzard's making a new game. Look at this. And it just accomplishes everything within itself.
You said it was not a trailer, but a short film. I argue every trailer is a short film. The reason why you call it a short film is because it is of such damn fine quality. And so that's when it's like, wait a minute, this is something different. And it's like, no, they just did a really good job.
Yeah.
They just spent days, weeks, months, maybe years conceptualizing how they were going to tell people about this. And like, that's the whole difference. That's like why I'm way into this concept, is that some people, it matters to them and some people it doesn't. And to Blizzard, like, oh boy, does it matter,
Yeah.
That here's something that's not only like, oh yeah, I remember that moment, I remember that day, I'll remember this video, I'll go back and want to watch this just purely on its own. I'm mostly excited about Overwatch. It looks fun. I'll play it, but like I'm more impressed just with the announcement.
And that's the thing too, is like, even though we're not going to show it here, is the gameplay trailer was almost as good. Like, just to show off that game. And it's like, wait, this is not just this CG thing. Like, you actually have this thing running and playable right now, and all the stuff they bring into that. I also want to give a shout out to the music. Music is freaking fantastic, and it's one of the Blizzard guys, Neil Acree, who's done just did Draenor, so it's StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, and then they also have Chris Velasco, who's done God of War and Mass Effect 3, and he did Company Heroes 2, which was a great soundtrack last year. So I don't know if Chris is going to be on the game itself, but he did work on the trailer, and freaking amazing stuff.
It's a theme. I already established a theme for Overwatch. It's so good.
One thing, if I could raise one potential critique that I think the trailer addresses and therefore almost nearly nullifies in my brain, is that I'm not sure how serious to take this world, because they definitely play up the seriousness of it. They're in like a museum, and that kind of like, I don't know, like we do have war museums, so like it does kind of play up like, oh no, this world is very serious. Obviously every world that Blizzard has created is very, very serious, and like when characters die in it, like it is very serious. Whereas I get the sense like these guys are gonna be beating each other up forever. It's just kind of the nature of the game. And so it's like you have moments when Tracer like appears and sneaks up on the sniper, but like has to say a little catchphrase. It's like, wouldn't that, if the sniper was that good, like, and Tracer gave her 3 seconds to like fight back, it's like I'm announcing to you that I'm sneaking up on you. It's like that stretch in realism where it's like, oh, okay, she's doing that because it's funny, therefore they're presenting it because it's funny, therefore I don't care. But these kids really care, and like, is there, I always tend to be the only guy in the room that brings this up. Like, that always is a potential issue for me. Totally solved by these kids. For me, like, I think that the little boy basically is telling you how to address this game and like how you should be excited about this game and what this game means to him, and is convincing his brother and therefore convincing us. Almost gave this a 10. I thought about it. I was actually in the elevator on the way up, and I was like, is this a 10? Am I gonna give this a 10 today? I give this a 9.9. This is damn good. I don't know who doing what with what, whether it's a 3D animated thing or your game engine or whatever, could put more time and attention and energy and personality and joy into pitching a game and making a trailer. Well done. Trailer of the year.
I'll do it, Brandon. I'm going 10.
You go 10.
I'm going to 10 on this one. That's the second 10. Very different trailer, obviously, since it's all entirely CG, but it shows you the game. It shows you the game's world. And in just such an incredible way, makes you excited, and I don't know how. I can't believe they did this. Basically, I'm in disbelief of this trailer. There is a shot that is all one shot, and just so much action happens within it, and it just keeps going, and it's just masterfully pulled off. This is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much high up there. My mind is stretching to think of like what fills the gap. My gut reaction is like a 9.6. I don't know what would make it better, but yeah, it's really, really good stuff.
As long as we have Kyle around, so someone gets a 10. Just so that happens sometimes, if we can, have a legitimate scoring meter. But yeah, good trailer. Alright, trailer fans, that is just part 1 of Let's All Go to the Trailers. There are 2 parts, if you can believe it. If you're like, I can't get enough, you can get more if you want to. Only about 1/4 of our audience does get more. Every week does actually seek out the second part. But we are going to do a second part. We're going to watch a trailer that we've never seen before called HunterNet. Yes, all Hunter fans rejoice. Never heard of that game before. And we're going to pick our trailer of the week. I wonder what that's going to be. And talk about some other awesome trailers that came out this week. So please join us. If not, we'll see you next week.